Avasara Bhante, we have received 2 reports today.
Really?
Report number 1, Venerable Bhante. I had a different experience in one of the sitting sessions. First, I felt the heartbeat. I was looking into it and it slowly disappeared. Then I see the thoughts. It was like 2 people questioning and answering, but both are me. When I observe it, it reduced and disappeared. After disappearing, I can't remember anything. I think that I was in that state for a long time, but I don't have an idea about the time. Then I suddenly and automatically opened the eyes. At that time, I wondered I'm in Kalalgoda meditation hall. I didn't have an idea where I was. This kind of experience I have got 2 times before, but this doesn't always happen. Thero Saranai.
May I know who has written it? You? Okay. So, since I know about your practice, I can simply say, so you might lose the orientation, you might lose the place, time. So those things are quite common things. So once the mind goes to the emptiness, there is no object at all. So then you can't perceive the time, you can't perceive the place. That would be fine. Okay, Jutta, switch on.
But I forget everything. I forget everything. I don't know where that when I realize I am in here. It's kind of I was there. It was like that.
That's okay. That's how it happens. So it's very much like. So actually, we are perceiving ourselves using our memories and our orientation, using our various labels. So if we lose our memory, then we become very much like no one. So how we build ourselves? So in order to build ourselves, so fair amount of memory is a must. So you can remember your education, you can remember your parents, you can remember your husband, wife, this and that. So many things are there. So you recognize them, everybody, and then you know exactly this is the place, the orientation, these are the different objects around you. So all are in a way the perceptions helping us to boost as a person, as a self. But when we are going through the practice, so all that slowly disclaimed, disidentified, and ultimately nothing is there. So then no orientation at all, and you don't know who you are because nothing is there for you to relate. The coordinates and all that disappeared. So you become kind of redundant, kind of no one basically. And the place also you can't label. So then that is also lost. So you feel kind of surprised, amazed in that state. But you can switch back later. You can switch back to the conventional realm, back to the conventional world. Okay, now back I am in the Kalalgoda, I am in front of him, in front of them, like that. So you again rebuild your environment, the setup. Seems everything fine now. So we are switching to these 2 worlds, very much like. Say, so there's a situation where nobody, no person, no place as such, but awareness is there, kind of a pure awareness is there. But on the other hand, there is another situation where all the different conventional realities are there, conventional people are there, place is there, I am there, so all that is there. So let's try to be at peace on both worlds. So knowing, okay, this is also has a purpose, this also has the purpose. This is the more realistic one. It is in the sense more according to the Dhamma. So all the names and labels, places, all are merely concepts. So the mind is capable of going through or penetrating through the concepts and drop the concepts, and nothing is there then, and you feel a bit of confused. What is happening? Am I going crazy? So, by the way, I mean, just switch to that and be there also, because that is where we can say a fair amount of signless state is you are experiencing. Because for us to know something, we need signs. Okay, say I am here because I am taking signs around. So then I am feeling comfortable through my eyes. I take signs through the ears. I take signs, smell, taste, all that. So the signs are helpful for me to establish myself as a person. But when we are moving forwards, when the mind is not picking up the signs, so that is impossible to build. So then we feel uncomfortable. But that signless state is a possible mind state. So just be in that mind state, just dwell there, be familiar with it. No harm in being that, and just stay there. Yeah. No, not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, you may go to a little deep concentration while no object, but that is not the main point, by the way. I mean, going deeper, as even yesterday we discussed that. So you can go to deep signless state, but here what we are expecting is, and rather than deep, kind of an openness, in the while you are in the signless state. So sometimes we call the animitta samadhi, sometimes we call the animitta ceto vimutti. So what we experience first may be animitta samadhi, kind of a samadhi, kind of a concentration, where a limited kind of a perception, say nothing is there, so mind is empty, no signs, but you are kind of a little stuck, like in a narrow setup. But as you are moving forward, this become more and more expanded, so mind become more and more open, but you are in the surface, like not in a deep stuck place as such, but you are more open and completely vast, kind of a boundless type of experience. So that is the path, actually path in the sense that's the direction that we need to move forward. Not immediately we may get into this vast, say, boundless state. Rather, we may start with some limited, signless state. So you develop that as a concentration, and again be familiar with it, and then you know it, you experience it, and slowly, mind stays there. Then familiarizing that, expanding that, living that more and more helps to expand it further. Live it there in a more effortless manner. Right.
Report number 2. Avasarai Venerable Bhante. I am practicing being in the thoughtless state during sitting and walking meditation, and also during daily activities which I do on my own. I am watching my mind like a hawk, waiting for a thought to pop up to abandon it as soon as possible. Sometimes I feel tired of doing this over and over again. At such times, mind naturally goes to watching the breath. I watch the breath for some time and realize that once again thoughts are absent in my mind. Please advise. Theruvan Saranai.
So going to watch the breath is another sankhara, and you are effortfully waiting a thought to appear, that's another sankhara. Because you don't need such kind of an effort to watch it. At the beginning, maybe you may be quite diligent, it's a little new to you, and you are curious whether when the next thought would appear, so you are a little careful, curious, so energetic, but allow the thought to come. So nothing to worry. It's a mere thought. So that's why thoughts, once you know that thoughts are mere thoughts, and rather than claiming them as this belong to me, so then you don't need to excited by knowing a thought, by seeing a thought. Let it come. Viññāte viññāta mattang. That's it. So a thought, an idea, something happen, a mental object might appear and it will disappear, but you are stable. So it is not basically, but anyway, what you are experiencing currently may be necessary because you need to have a pure state of mind, free from any of the disturbances. But later, So you become more fragile rather than fragile, say kind of flexible, allowing things to happen, but you know how to handle. At the beginning, you are very much like trying to consolidate the state. So you are careful whether is there any disturbance coming. I'm going to quickly take it off. So concerned about it. But as you are become more and more familiar, so you can manage things. Let them come, but you don't care. You know they are impermanent. They are not worthy of attaching. They are essenceless. There is no anything solid or anything kind of substantial. So you don't worry. So let them come. So you become more comfortable. You become more relaxed. And currently your statement shows a little bit of tense. So you are a little tensed. You are a little concerned whether there are thoughts arising. So you are so concerned about it. That also has to be reduced so that become effortless. Actually, in the Dhamma, this is called now how we willfully stop things, how we determine and how we willfully, effortfully, intentionally stop things and still can manage it. So sometimes it's called sasankhara niggaiha varitavato. Sasankhara niggaiha varitavato. That means sankhara. Sankhara are the different formations, maybe volitional formations, bodily formations, mental formations, all the other volitional activities. So using that, you can stop things. Willfully, you can stop things. Sasankhara niggaiha varitavato. So you stop, you prevent things. So that's a state of mind, that's a type of samadhi, but you need effort to do that. But the developed level is not that. Developed level is explained as na sasankhara niggaiha varitavato. There is no such willful prevention of anything. Things are naturally there, naturally calm, naturally relaxed. It won't happen immediately. So that's the point. So very much like now say a situation, now say for example, say we had a war in Sri Lanka, say 70 years ago, and assume that a very talented group of soldiers go and attack an enemy area and they captured a limited area. Okay, now they have to guard it, right? Because surrounding is still the terrorists are available, okay, the enemies are available. So the soldiers have to guard that place. So they are quite vigilant. They always have to patrol. They always have to maintain the weapons, keep things ready, because still things are not peaceful. So they have to guard. They have to always vigilant. Now still the civilians can't go there because still the situation is very vulnerable. But later assume that they are expanding the whole thing. They assume that they captured 1 kilometer. Then they captured 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Now the whole country assume that everything is done. No problem at all. Now what do you think? That area, now you don't need the weapons and everything because now they are quite sure everybody is quite peaceful, no terrorists, no enemies, everybody is harmless. Now civilians can go there, you don't need weapons, the civil law can be established, something like that. So it may take time, by the way. So immediately you can't have that. So if it is captured by the enemies, you may have to use the power, the force to capture that area and then slowly expand it. And once it becomes completely liberated, then you don't need to worry, okay, you are invited to come, the visitors may come, the civilians may come and they start living, they're doing the farming and this and that, everything's fine. So like that here also. So we are under the influence of various hindrances. So we have to have some kind of a protection coming through the samadhi, particularly samadhi and the wisdom. And so we are maintaining emptiness, signlessness at a limited scope because the power of the defilements are still influential. Influence is still there, so you are quite vigilant. And a very narrow area that you are maintaining this harmness, still very fragile. But later, you are slowly attacking these enemies, knowing the defilements, you are slowly abandoning that. So now things become more and more comfortable, more and more effortless. Now you know, okay, can't see things very much, it's not disturbed. Even though you see things, mind can retain the calmness. Even though hear things, mind can retain the calmness. Even though you smell, taste, touch, tangibles, still mind can retain the calmness. Thoughts sometimes come and go, still mind retains the calmness. You feel confident now. Now you don't need to use such kind of an energetic alertness. Rather, you can be little relaxed. And even it comes, you know, I'm not being shaken by that. So you become more confident now. You know how to handle things, and you are more comfortable based on your own practice now. So you are much more comfortable about and more convinced about your own practice, and you know what to do then. Something like that. Okay, so I think what you have experienced is quite all right. So continue that, then slowly, it will lead to the peaceful state. Okay, those are the 2 questions we received. No more questions, we'll wind up the session.
Bhante, I have a continuation on that.
Right.
I don't know whether I have misunderstood. I was listening to your Perth sermons, and I was also trying to maintain in the signless state, but I was thinking there I caught a word saying purposely you should be trying to be there or something like, I don't know whether so I'm trying, so I'm thinking like now to be in signless, you come to some place, but then you don't maintain it for a long time, but then I'm trying hard and purposely I'm trying to be there, and it is successful.
It's necessary.
Okay.
That's why, so the soldiers have to purposely be vigilant, diligent. In case the enemies come, they have to shoot.
Okay.
Can't help. So that's how they are protecting. Still the enemies are coming. So now slowly, once they establish the power, then they are not coming. The enemies are not there. So they drop the weapons and they become the civilians. Now enemies are no more. So then you are quite comfortable. Then you don't need to forcefully or effortfully maintain this. So this is available to you. That becomes the natural state of the mind, because it is not often the defilements are attacking the mind. So certain extreme situations still may happen, and still you become under the influence of the defilements. So that's why the latent tendencies are still there. But you are becoming more confident. Okay, now I can maintain it with less effort. And it is not the effortful maintenance of this state, but it has become the nature of the mind, natural state of the mind, home of the mind, like that. Yeah. If you have any question, please go ahead. We have a lot of time. Many people, less questions. Everybody have no issues. Good. Yeah. So still afraid to go to emptiness.
Venerable Bhante, it's on that earlier question. So when, especially in my walking meditation today, I was quite calm compared to yesterday, but the thoughts kept on coming. So, and I was disturbed by the fact that the thoughts were coming, but the thought itself was like what I remembered or thought of wasn't a problem. So, like what I remembered. Say I thought of home or whatever, that didn't disturb me, but the fact that the thoughts kept on coming disturbed me. As far as I could, as far as I was aware, I was very much aware of my walking and my step. But the thoughts seemed to come at the same time. So in relation to the previous question, should I be trying to stop the thoughts?
Rather than that, you better continue the walking practice by paying attention to the various sensations. So more and more you get involved, more concerned about that, thoughts become weaker and weaker. So actually at the beginning we don't have enough mindfulness, concentration, wisdom to directly handle thoughts. If you can, that doesn't matter, no problem. But typically the yogi is not enough having concentration and mindfulness build up. So what we do is we are more concerned about the bodily activity, so paying enough attention to the sensations available in the body. So more you pay more and more attention to that. So actually through our own mind the thoughts are also getting some energy for it to continue. But since we are not giving enough energy to that, it becomes weaker and weaker, and it will be pushed to the background, ultimately disappear. So therefore it's a kind of a gradual disappearance happen, and later you may experience, okay, now mind is calm and you are fully paying attention to various sensations at your body, and then you can carefully observe each and every phenomena. And later, even gradually you may start watching the mind. It may also happen naturally. Say while you are walking, and this may happen to fair extent, and then you sometimes recognize, okay, there's an angry thought, and you start noticing it. Once you notice it, it has gone. So there you understand, okay, now they are merely thoughts. It is not he made this or he made that. Rather, it's a merely angry thought, a thought of ill will. And at that level, you are not promoting it, you are not personifying it. Rather, you are objectively looking at it as a thought, and then it will disappear. So then you are capable of doing that, and you are welcome to do that. Not immediately. You can start with typically paying attention to the body and building up fair amount of mindfulness, this kind of a sharpness, comprehension. Everything is now well, and slowly look at the mind also. Probably you can see thoughts are also coming, but you are not promoting them, you are not being deluded by them. As a result of that, you can drop them easily. They are coming and going, they are not staying, you are not feeding, you are not driven by them. So then you are in a much better position. Then you are welcome to even watch the thoughts, no harm. Yeah, Thero Sanai. Okay. Yesterday we had 1.5 hours session, so all the questions were sorted out. So no more questions. Okay. So then we'll wind up the session, and why?
We are learning by questions, so someone has to ask questions.
So he's coming from the water board.
That's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. It's in vain you go early. Actually, the life is what I feel now is the coming thought or some for our sense, right. We take some thing, and react to that.
Mm-hmm.
And more than that, there's nothing like more than that.
Exactly.
So
that's right.
So
that's
what's
There's a beautiful sutta called Sabba. Sabba to say everything. So Buddha say, what is everything? Eye, sights, ear, sounds, nose, smells, tongue, taste, body, tangibles, mind objects. That's the Sabba. That's everything. Nothing else. So that's why, you can see how Buddha very cleverly simplified the whole experience. So we tell, okay, this is me, mine, and this is the beautiful thing, this is the ugly thing, and these are bad, these are wrong. And we create many, many things. But essentially, this is what we are going through. Through our eyes, we can see things, sights are there. Through our ears, we can hear sounds. And through the nose, we can recognize various odors. Through the tongue, we can experience taste. Through the body, we can experience various tangibles. And the mind go through various ideas, objects, mental signs, this and that. That's all. That's what everything. And even if you go to the moon, after say 10 years, still what you experience is the same thing. Because we have only these 6 senses and the corresponding external objects, that's all. So where is I?
So is that life is that?
Sorry?
Life is that then?
Life is that.
Nothing more than that.
Exactly. So what to do?
What are we doing then?
So that's why, we have complicated the things. This is what exactly available. Around this, we have created so much of complications. So the teaching helps us to again clarify things, to kind of untangle the whole knot. So everything become kind of complicated, tangled, confused. So the mindfulness practice, the wisdom practice helps to sort of distangle these things, untangle these things and see nothing is there. So that's why the mind become empty in a way. So the mind understands nothing there to be worried in a way. There's no person to be attached with. There's no I to be protected. So the natural understanding helps to maintain that. So now say for example, when Buddha defines the emptiness, he simply say, Sunyang attaniyang sunyamidang attenava attaniyenava. So it is empty of a self and what belongs to self. So that is how he defines the emptiness. It is empty of a self and what belongs to self. So everywhere, either internal, either external, material or immaterial, everywhere there is empty of a self and what belongs to self. Everywhere. So then what to do? That's why as we are moving forward, so when things become more and more clear, so you feel comfortable, you feel calm, peaceful, nothing is there. That's why Venerable Ayya Khema beautifully mentioned in her book, Being Nobody, Going Nowhere. Very simple. Being nobody, going nowhere. But we want to be somebody, and I want to go to Nissarana. So I am someone, and I have a place to go. So we all have some person to protect, and some place to go, some place to stay. That's why the very first statement, very first report says, okay, I am nobody, and now I can't perceive the place. I can't perceive the time. So that's the reality. So all the time now, who established the time? So the human made. So it's a concept based on the rotation of the sun, rather the rotation of the rotation of the earth. Say we define, okay, this is how we calibrate the whole thing, and then we define, okay, let's divide this to 12 hours, and this is a second, this is the minute. For a minute there are 60 seconds, and then the 160 minutes is the 1 hour. So this is our way of definition. So we made it.
Sammutiya.
Sammuti. All are sammuti. All are conventional stuff in a way. So then what happens is, then for us it becomes reality. We take it so important, and we fight for that. We kill others for that. So it becomes more and more thoroughly, strongly grasped, adhered. Then we get trapped. And we can't remember for what purpose we established this. Why we come to a kind of a understanding, or why we come to a kind of a common agreement. Just for what purpose, we can't remember that. But rather we take the face value, this is what I being learned, this is the best thing, and your thing is merely utterly foolish. So my thing is the best thing. So then we start fighting all that. So that's why beautifully Buddha mentioned. Now, as we even yesterday discussed, say, when for someone there are things available for them to think, prapancha, to them to proliferate. But for another person, the same things are there, but it is not causing any proliferation. It is not causing any thinking at all. Then that is the way of calming down the defilements. That's the way of calming down all the latent tendencies. So what happened today is now we create persons, we create objects, and we attribute some value to them. And then I am there, you are there, those objects are there, I like it, I want it, I can't share it with you, I am quarreling with you, so all that, the problems are there. But the opposite happens when we can see things, but no thinking, no proliferation, but mind remains calm, clear, something like that. So that's why as she yesterday asked, how to overcome the latent tendencies. So non-proliferation is one strong method. Non-proliferation. It doesn't mean that you are in a complete darkness. Now say you can't see things. And you can avoid, probably you can avoid thinking because you can't see things, no? But when you see things, it may promote thinking. It may promote obsessions, right? But still that is not there. While seeing, if you are not thinking, while seeing, if you are not going through some obsessional thoughts, then that is something, right? So that is what we want to build. That is what we want to develop. It is not that you keep eyes tightly closed and you keep yourself completely free from everything, you escape from the whole world. That is samatha, possible. That's also one approach. But the Vipassana approach is much more advanced than that. So by knowing things as they truly are, now even though things are there, so you can maintain emptiness. Still the mind remain calm, quiet. That's why the beautifully mentioned by Venerable Sona, the Sona Sutta. I often take that example. There's a beautiful verse, I always can't remember that. What's that? Right. So it says like this. Selo yatha eka ghano vatena na samirati. Evang rupa rasa saddha gandha passacha kevala. Itta dhamma anitthacha nappa vedhenti tadino. Titanchittang vipamuttang vayanchassanu passati. Very beautifully he explains the experience. Selo yatha eka ghano vatena na samirati. Like a solid rock not being shaken by the incoming winds, right? Vatena na samirati. Evang rupa rasa saddha gandha passacha kevala. Likewise, the rupa, the different forms, sights, saddha, gandha, smells, tastes, tangibles, large amount, not one thing. Ittha dhamma anitthacha. They may be favorable, they may be agreeable, and they may be disagreeable. They may be something that you don't want to listen. Both favorable and unfavorable, both sides are there. Ittha dhamma anitthacha. Nappa vedhenti tadino. So the thadi, the arahant, is not being shaken by that. Titanchittang, his mind unwavered, his mind stable, still. Vipamuttang, free from all the defilements. Vayanchassanu passati. And whatever this incoming sense stimuli, he sees they are going, they are coming and going, coming and going. That's it. And further, the same thing explained in the words like this. Evang samma vimutta chittassa bhikkhuno busachepi chakku viññaya rupa chakkusa apatang agachanti. Now, for the person who is completely liberated, for the arahant, so to his eyes there may be various, vast amount of forms, vast amount of sights. They may come and exactly come to the eyesight, the line of sight. Apatang, chakkusa apatang agachanti, right? Nevassa chittam pariyadayanti. But nevassa chittam pariyadayanti. But mind is not disturbed by that. Even though the eyes are quite open and the sights are there, you have the light is full available and you can see things. But nevassa chittam pariyadayanti. Mind is not overwhelmed by any of that. Amissi katamevassa chittam hoti. Amissi katamevassa. So the mind remains without mixing of any of that. Mind is retaining its purity, stability. Amissi katamevassa chittam hoti. Tithang anenjappattam. Stable, still, unwavering. Anenja means very stable. Anenjappattam. Vayanchassa anupassati. All these incoming, whatever the forms, sights, all that, they are coming and going. That's it. Nothing to worry. They are not mine. It doesn't represent me. Here also there is no me. So, very beautiful. This sutta, I always refer, I really like this sutta, Sona Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya Chakkanipata. Very beautifully, the Arahant experience, well explained. It is not the Arahant, Arahantapala Samadhi. This is not, we can't say this is the Arahantapala Samadhi, but this is how the Arahant may simply live in the whole society. While maybe going on Pindapata, while talking and this and that, but the mind has that clarity. Mind has that unwavering stillness. So that's very beautiful. So that's why Buddha beautifully mentioned, now in general, typically, so the people, the mundane, uninstructed people, they are into the proliferation. They are into papancha. Nippapancha tathagata. The opposite is true for the Buddhas, to the Arahants. They are completely free from prapancha. Thoughts may come, but not going to the prapancha level. So that's why main emphasis is to calm down the prapancha, calm down the proliferation. So then the path will slowly start developing. That's a very important task. As practitioners, as Vipassana yogis, we should know how to calm down thinking, obsessional thinking. That's one important aspect. And actually, if you refer Kosambhya Sutta, so if you feel I have an obsessional thought which I can't overcome, then you are not a Sotapanna. That is one important aspect of Sotapanna, that he can see I have no obsessional thoughts which is tormenting me again and again, which I can't give up. Sometimes say if you think about your past, say for example, and there may be such obsessional thoughts, no? Say you had a grudge with someone or crush with someone, both are okay. Either crush or grudge, doesn't matter. You obsessional, continuously thinking, that's obsessional. So I don't know how Vishaka has going through the whole lifetime. Maybe without this thing. Sorry? Yeah. Thoughts may come and go, but not drawn to the obsessional level, or we can say, even if it comes to the obsessional level, you should be, once you are paying attention, it has to slowly dilute and has to disappear. Something like that. So, that's why we need to be very clear that pariyutthana kilesa. So, pariyutthana kilesa is this obsessional thoughts particularly. So, one important characteristic of a Sotapanna is that he can see there are no such tormenting obsessional thoughts in my mind now. A fair amount of calmness is there. Sometimes thoughts may appear, thinking appear, certain disturbance appear, but not really torturing as before, something like that.
When we look at this, whenever it comes, then it's slowly getting weaker.
Correct.
And not like those days, now if it comes, it's not disturbing.
Yeah.
It's not disturbing.
Disturbance, and it has to, if you can reach the complete silence, that's an indication it has completely disappeared. Now that's the thing.
That means when it comes, when it doesn't come, or when it comes, you are not feeling anything, it's okay, or the thought shouldn't come, or what it is?
Now maybe time to time at least, you may experience some sort of a complete silence. So that indication that you kind of a clarity is there, complete clarity is there. But again and again thoughts may come, but you are not feeding them as before.
Yeah.
So that they quickly disappear,
Yeah.
they quickly abandon the mind.
Yeah.
So the mind may quickly become silent again, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, say for example, say some time ago, say after you talk with someone, so whatever the content what you have discussed and all that may again disturb you, right?
Again comes to your mind.
Again comes to your mind. And probably he might have told that or this, that I have answered like this, I should have answered like this.
I shouldn't have.
So all that you again and again create that story in the mind. You can't forget it, right? Again disturb. So that has to slowly reduce. So you should be able to silence yourself very quickly. And today morning actually, when Priyanka came, we discussed one Dhammapada verse. Sache neresi attanam kanso upahato yatha esa pattosi nibbanam sarambho te navijjati. Sache nere. Now you see, assume that there is a metal gong. Say this is a metal one. So if you hit that, then there's an echo coming, right? Reverberation coming. So it's the echoing that. That's why we are using a singing bowl and all that. It has an echo. Assume it has a crack. It has a piece taken out. Once you hit it, what happened? No echo. Boom, that's it. No echoing come. So similarly, Buddha says, Sache nerisya attanam kanso upahaso yata esa pattosi nibbanam sarambho te navijjati. Now, if you can make your mind like a cracked gong, cracked gong, where there is no sarambha. Sarambha is that kind of a reactivity. Say, assume that someone blamed you. So it reacts, the mind reacts. Why he did that? I should take the revenge. I don't know, what's the tit for tat? Kind of a tit for tat attitude we have. So that sarambha will not be in the mind. If we are able to come to that. Something like that. So with that very beautiful simile, so that is the kind of mindset we have to have. It is not that we never go through the ups and downs, we never go through someone else's disturbance or kind of say words or this and that. But when it happens, how quickly I can settle. So that's the resilience, what we talk in the mindfulness. So when we develop mindfulness, the resilience is a must quality that we have to develop. How quickly you can retain, how quickly you return back to the normal. That's it. So if so, then there is no sarambha. You are not, you can't settle yourself till you are thinking of how to take a revenge, how to attack, how to react, how to answer, all that. So you are still planning, right? So if it happened, gone, done. So many different ways that Buddha present the path in a way. We can assess ourselves. So am I have such quality right now? So rather than, that's why we need to always look at ourselves. So rather than telling, okay, I am a sotapanno, I am this and that. So do I have this kind of a inner quality now, isn't it? Have I developed this kind of a quality as a result of my practice, isn't it? Then we can be honest with ourselves, and for that we need to go through our life. You need to go to your office, you need to go in a train, and you need to experience the train strike. Then you can see, am I a sotapanna? Say you are running to your station to catch the train, and once you go there, they say, no train, today's strike. How your mind behaves. So all the opportunities are there to test you. That's why the is free of charge.
Other thing.
Yeah, there's a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Other thing, that forcefully
calming down.
Thoughts, when thought comes, we can't forcefully hold it. I think
forcefully hold it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah,
but,
it's so
stressful.
And
yeah, that's why
easily you get fed up then.
Fed up, yeah.
So
it becomes strenuous.
Yeah,
it
becomes
effortful,
naturally.
It becomes
less and less, becoming less and less, and it goes naturally.
Exactly.
If
so the methods that we employ to calm down the mind has to have less impact, in the sense the building up any stress.
Yeah.
Say for example, when Buddha explains about the Vipassana Sutta, so he explained 5 methods. The last one is the willful prevention of the thoughts. Yeah. So you are stern, you are willfully, you stop it. That's the last resolution. But previously you are using different techniques. Those are more kind of less stressful, we can say. Yeah. But the development of the practice slowly help you to have a more effortless kind of an approach, and that may indicate kind of weakening of the defilements in a way. Yeah.
Swami, once I can't
you can come here, otherwise this will help disturb this thing. Yeah.
Swami, sir, when I was walking, I want to know whether it is right or wrong. I just get that it's like Panchaskandha, working Panchaskandha like. Mm-hmm. While I am walking, it's like Vedana, I felt that roughness and because of the mat, and then I was walking in sand, it was smooth. So that is like Vedana, no? I felt that. Mm-hmm. Then I was thinking, so then it is like Sanya. I understood that this is a rough mat and this is sand. Mm-hmm. Then actually Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, I was wondering, I didn't get anything about whether I like it or not. I don't know, I didn't get any Sankara.
Mm-hmm. So this whole activity is a kind of a Sankara.
Yeah.
So we are effortfully making activity, so that's also a kind of a volitional activity. That's also Sankhara.
Because I thought that now sometimes I like to go smooth place, it's
kind of a desire.
Yeah. And
by the way, dividing everything to 5 aggregates and trying to analyze.
Is it wrong?
That's the thing. So you can start with what is evident. Mm-hmm. Say for you, the bodily formations, the bodily sensations, if that is evident, you can see how quickly they come, how quickly they go. So like that you can explore that. So slowly, probably you can then start watching the mind, how thoughts are coming and how they are going. The volitional things are there. And then probably you can even notice how signs are coming, how perceptions are coming. They are also going. So the path will happen. Now immediately trying to quickly develop, or rather quickly analyze all 5 aggregates instantaneously would be difficult. By the way.
Thoughts are going anyway now. When I feel that roughness, at once it disappeared. Right. Then I understood now it is the roughness and the smoothness.
Yeah. So
then I stopped. At once I didn't have anything in my mind.
No, that's the thing. So you keep watching that. Yeah. How the roughness appear and disappear. So that builds up some amount of energy, rather the wisdom. So that helps you drop it. Yeah. So the importance or the result of this knowledge, this wisdom, is to drop the whole thing. Okay. So then mind stop in a way.
Yeah.
So no thoughts there. Yeah. It's kind of nothing is there. So you come to the emptiness maybe.
Yeah. That is what happened. That's why I was wondering now, what should I do like?
Now are you reaching that state frequently now?
When I was walking, Sakman Bhavana, I get that.
No problem. You arrive at and just be there.
Yeah.
So assume that you are going through the Sakmana, and as you're building up the momentum, at one point, the whole thing gives up, taken out, and you can't experience anything. The mind remain kind of quiet, calm, nothing is there. Just maintain that and simply walk
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Swamin Vansa, now this the 5 aggregates,
right.
Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. So when we consider that me, mine and I, then obviously there's Sakkaya Ditthi, right? That means?
That's the thing. Now, yeah, we can say, yeah, you are fairly correct. So that means when we consider the body is me, myself, yeah, Sakkaya Ditthi. Yeah, correct.
So, Sakkaya Ditthi nati venne, that means when we think of our internal selves, right? Or is it like now, you gave an example yesterday, like my car, right? So, this is my car and we get attached to it.
Right.
Does that become under mamatva? Like, does that get eradicated during Rahat? Like, when you're Sotapanna, so you still have that tanhava?
Yeah, while being a Sotapanna can have tanha.
Yeah, so
but the thing is, now say for example, say there are fleet of vehicles available, and once you recognize your vehicle, this is my car. Now the sense of I comes out, right? So that is, I mean, even though it's an external object, the sense of I happens in you. So this is my car. My car is the best car. Something like that. I mean, kind of quickly assuring yourself, assuring the presence of your person. So that has some connectivity. So that's why when defining the Sakkaya Ditthi, it is not only the direct recognition that object as myself. So this body as myself. Rupang attato samanupassati. This is one part of it. And Rupa vantam va attana. So that means I have a relationship with the body. This is my body. Now say for example, you see your body in the mirror. This is myself. Yeah, so you immediately say this is my figure, or this is my body, or whatever. So that you claim it as yours. That is also Sakkaya Ditthi.
Because that's our Rupa, no?
Yeah.
So it's our internal Rupa. That's what
internal
I wanted. like internally and externally, like, you know.
That's the point. So that's why yesterday during the Dhamma discussion,
yes.
so rather Dhamma sermon, that's why Rupa is not merely internal.
So we had to look at both
ways. It can be even to external. It can be even to external. So say when you see something external and you claim this is me, this is myself, this belongs to me. So there are also the sense of I arise, right? If something is there and it belongs to me, indirectly says there is a person who possesses it. That's indirectly understanding, right? Indirectly you are accepting, okay, there is a person, this is me, for me, this is belong to me. So that's an indirect understanding, acceptance, okay, there is a person. By the way, now, I mean, to the same discussion, we can connect the other sutta, very beautiful one. Even for the non-returner, there is a sense of I. So we don't need to think, okay, for us to want to become a Sotapanna, so each and every bit of sense of I has to be removed. Then one becomes an Arahant. So the sense of I is still available even for the non-returner. That's a very subtle, very slight, but he may not consider the form aggregate as me, myself, but still some sense of I is there. That is the theme of the Khemaka Sutta. You can read Khemaka Sutta. So there the Venerable Khemaka, he beautifully, honestly, humbly accept. I don't claim, I don't consider form aggregate as me, myself. I don't consider feeling aggregate as me, myself. I don't consider perceptions aggregate as me, myself. Formations aggregate as me, myself. Consciousness aggregate as me, myself. But still I have a sense of I. So then you can see, how honest in a way. He simply says, I don't consider that. I know that it is not me, myself, but still I have a sense of I. So that's the Asvimana is still available. So that will happen at the Arahantship only, that you may completely disclaim the whole thing. So it's a kind of a gradual fading away of all that. So the point is, the path is the same, the practice is the same. So at different levels that we may be able to understand the eradication of personality, isn't it? So at the very gross level, that recognizing, okay, this body can't have a person. This body is not me, myself. But it doesn't mean that you can't refer yourself as me, myself. You may refer it anyway. But through the practice you have thoroughly understood, you can't put a person inside. You can't claim as such. And through another practice you can understand, through Vedananupassana, for example, say you can understand, okay, the feelings can't be me, myself. They simply come and go. Then how can I say it is me, myself? It has, in the morning I had a headache, now no headache. Now how can I claim the headache is me? Isn't it? So likewise, whatever the feeling, so it may be coming and going, then I can't claim, I can't say the feelings as me, myself. They are impermanent. So likewise the perception, likewise the thoughts and the different sense experiences, they are all coming and going. Then how can I say it is me? So likewise we start questioning ourselves. So this we can't say as me, myself. Then where is I? Where is I? But still sense of I is there.
That's just for communication, right?
Yeah, that's for communication we may refer as me, myself. But the sense of I is still there. Even though I am not considering as form aggregate as me, myself, still the sense of I is still there. So when one becomes an Arahant only, that will be eradicated. So likewise a kind of a gradual reduction, fading away of that ignorance what we have, not immediately cutting off. Yeah.
So now you just said, Swamin Wahanse, like a Sotapanna, if you have an obsession of being irritated with somebody or anger, then so that means if you have it continuously, then obviously you're not Sotapanna, right?
I feel like that. That's how it is defined there. So there can't be a Pariyuttana kilesa, obsessional defilement, which you can't control like that, almost.
But you can, even if you're Sotapanna, you still can get angry or have love and everything. Can. But those will not go into obsession.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So the anger can happen, lust can happen, but it may not go to the kind of a unavoidable kind of a obsession. Yes. So where you notice it, I am angry, yes, I blame him, done. I am calm now. Yeah. So sure now?
Swamin Wahanse, I have a question about the agitated mind.
Uh-huh.
So the agitated mind, you mentioned about Pariyuttana, Vyatikramane, Anusaya, all those three states, usually the mind is not calm. It has some sort of agitation.
Correct.
So now when we dotted these lines to Sotapanna, does it mean that a Sotapanna person cannot have either three states of agitated mind?
Definitely can.
It definitely can.
Can. Because that's why he only has abandoned 3 fetters. 7 more to
go.
Drop.
Yeah.
So the agitation can happen. Because still lust is there, Kamaraga is there, Patika is there. That's why she asked, lust is there, say the Patika is there. So again the person can become angry. But the point is that anger, now in the Sila point of view, how it is explained is that anger may not grow to the level that you're killing someone and taking you to the hell realm.
Yes.
To that level you may not be deluded. Anger is there and you understood, okay, I am being a little fooled by that. I have gone to some sort of delusion. but I better correct myself now, something like that. So that's why even in the now there may be a kind of a extreme view that we may get by this discussion, thinking that every time we have to see things in the very pristine, precise form. It may not. If you refer Mulapariyaya Sutta, so in the Mulapariyaya Sutta, Buddha mentioned, okay, what is the practice of the Seka Puggala, or the practice of the trainee. So he may see things, and the mind might want to proliferate, but he is restraining himself now. So Mamanyi, so he refers the term as Mamanyi, don't do it again, because you have seen it. So basically the terms are, now typically what happens is, Pataving manyati, pataviya manyati, pataving meti manyati, pataving abhinandati. So that's the typical person. Say when you see your house, okay, you delighted of that, you think about your housing loan, and you, my goodness, many thinking going on. Okay, that's the typical person. And now assume that's a Sotapanna, he may see the house. Now he also renting a house. And he also might remember the rent, and I couldn't pay the rent, and I have to pay it. And when it is coming as a thought and little disturbing him, now he should be able to calm down that. So he is kind of restraining himself. Pataving mamanyi, pataviya mamanyi, pataving meti mamanyi. So the mamanyi, the ma refers as don't do it. So likewise, we are kind of restraining ourselves. Only the Arahants is saying, pataving na manyati, pataviya na manyati. Na, complete negation is there. We never do it. Something like that. So before that, we all may get into a little bit of, as you said, a little bit of agitation, little bit of thinking, but he may be able to calm down it quickly, release it quickly. Yeah.
Thero Saranai.
Okay, shall we become a Sakadagami?
The hour went without us knowing.
Sorry, yeah. Exactly.
Hours went without us knowing.
Good. These kind of hot topics are good. Okay, then we'll stop the session, and we have spent 1 hour. We'll have the Dhamma sermon at 4 p.m. Thero Saranai.